What's the vibe? It's your boy Zebo. I'm back with another video. I just wanted to jump on here and talk about two of these Hawas fragrances that I just got in. In my last video, I told you that, I would kind of walk through these videos, these two fragrances. So, I know there's videos out about these fragrances. They are new releases. Two that are very interesting. I almost added the Atlantis on there, but I just didn't want another Louis Vuitton inspired fragrance. I'm pretty much burnt out on them, so I definitely didn't want that in my collection. I'm kind of, over that whole Louis Vuitton hype thing. So the two fragrances that I wanted to chop it up about is Hawas Verde. So this one, I'm pretty sure that there are reviews about this fragrance, and I just kind of want to give my take on it. Something different, And we got Hawas Kobra. So we're going to jump into these two because I found these very interesting, especially this Verde. This Verde, I've had these fragrances probably for about a good week, solid. And I like them both. Like, I really, really like them both. Like, they Hawas. You can't really go wrong with Hawas. Hawas is always gonna, represent. They're always gonna put out some pretty good fragrances. There will be some misses, depending on personal preferences. But I haven't gotten too many misses from Hawas. I find the house very interesting. They do a great job at, having these fragrances that are great smelling fragrances, and on top of that, great performers. To be truthful, probably outperform some of the fragrances that, they are supposed to be inspired by. But, Hawas, they put their twists on it, they do their own thing, and they come up with very unique, beautiful fragrances. So this Verde, I'm loving this bottle, beautiful bottle. Got that green that goes up to a yellowish green, and then it has that gold cap on there. Beautiful bottle. Presentation is amazing. I love it. This is probably one of the better bottles that I've seen. And it kind of resembles the tropical bottle, but I like it. And as you can see, I have been using this, and the reason why I've been using this like that is because this is a very unique smell. This fragrance has, it really kind of had taken me aback when I first initially sprayed it. I could not pinpoint its smell. It didn't remind me of anything. In fact, I was kind of trying to find similarities in other fragrances, and I just couldn't, find anything that it reminded me of. But this fragrance it had like an odd kind of, initially I just didn't like it at first. Initially, it was something odd about it that was throwing me off about the fragrance. Maybe it was my expectations. Maybe I had, some expectations for this fragrance, and it just wasn't living up to the mental picture that I had pictured in my head and the smell that I had attributed to the fragrance. But it just didn't match. And when I smelled it, I was like, yeah, I'm not really liking this. So we're gonna put it in the air, put it on test and script, on skin, and that's how, that's how we do it on this channel. Atomizer is pretty decent, nothing really, over the top. They didn't invest like half of their budget on the atomizer, but pretty decent. Nice spray on it. But in the air, very fresh. This is geared toward a summer fragrance, something that you definitely will enjoy during those, you know, warmer or not so cold days. Could be a little bit cool, but I'm thinking spring, summer. You might be able to pull it off a tad bit once it start getting, you know, the beginning parts of fall, but very fresh. Now, I will put the notes up here for you to check out. Notes are limited. There's not too many notes in this fragrance. However, the one thing that I did notice, and this is what kind of was playing, you know, on me a bit. In the beginning, I got more so the greenish aspect of it, like, you know, the patchouli and, you know, and stuff like that, the floral aspects of it, which just kind of gave it like just a quick earthy kind of type of vibe in the gate, which that was the turn off for me. It just was a tad bit too greenish and earthy in the beginning, but as it dried down, and even on this testing strip, you're definitely gonna get that green and that earthy little kind of like vibe in the beginning. It just has that greenish kind of vibe to it. And that's like initially, that's what really threw me off. But in this dry down, and again, it took me a couple times to really wear this thing. Like it took me a couple times. But in this dry down, you get that very beautiful green apple. And the green apple, it overpowers the patchouli and the earthy kind of tone that you get in the beginning. It settles into that apple, and it becomes like a beautiful greenish apple type of vibe. Man, that's like the best part of the fragrance. Like if you can get past that initial, you know, opening on this fragrance, then you definitely will enjoy the dry down, because the dry down is like a sexy, juicy apple type of vibe. Very beautiful in its dry down. Initially in the beginning, like I said, it was a little struggle for your boy. And I think that is basically, you know, me having expectations for it in the direction that I thought that the fragrance was going. But definitely a beautiful fragrance. And this joint lasted me all day. I'm talking about projection, heavy. This is one of those fragrances that it really stands out. It performs well. You already know how Hawas do. They don't really fuck around. They put their foot in it. They make sure that these fragrances represent their name and their brand. But beautiful fragrance. I love it. It took me some time to get over that opening. And I know y'all looking like, man, I keep talking about that opening. That was a rough patch for me. But after it settled down and I got used to it, after a couple wears, very beautiful fragrance. So next we're gonna go ahead and jump into this Kobra. Now, this fragrance is definitely beautiful, masculine, manly, all the things that you would like to think about as far as a man. I love this fragrance. This fragrance, like from the moment that I sprayed it, the moment that, you know, I took a whiff of it, I was automatically, you know, tied in, linked in, you know, the whole nine with this fragrance. It really did what it was supposed to do in this opening and throughout. So I'll post the notes up here for you to check those out as well. Note breakdown and composition is a bit more complex than, you know, the Verde. There's more notes inside this fragrance, which gives it, you know, a little more complexity. So we're gonna put it in the air. Put that joint on testing strip. But yeah, in the gate, very potent, very, very strong. I don't think that with this fragrance, I don't think that there will be a whole lot of overspraying with this, because in the air you get that dominant, that fresh, that masculine, that scent profile that's just, it's manly. Like, this is definitely one of those set an example type fragrances. Something that, you know, I would see myself wearing out and about on a date, you know, late night, date night type vibe. Work definitely wouldn't be like office material type fragrance, because again, this thing is strong, it's potent. It is probably one of the strongest Hawas. Like, you could just imagine Hawas Black and the OG Hawas, you know, the potency of the two together. This thing is strong. It's strong. Like, it's really, really probably the strongest Hawas that I've smelled out of the collection. I have Ice, I have Black, I have the OG, and this is definitely a heavy hitter. So I don't think that I'll be overspraying with him. But beautiful fragrance. Don't remind me of, you know, anything off the bat. Just a very smooth, strong, masculine type vibe. Man, this is probably, and I think I'm gonna grab a couple more Hawas fragrances, and then I'll do maybe like a rundown of my favorite out of, you know, the ones that I have. I think, you know, I really want to try this fire out. I don't necessarily want the Atlantis. Like I said, I'm tired of the LVs. But I might grab the tropical and the fire next. I don't want the elixir. But anyway, I'll see what I'll do with them and rank those. But as of right now, this is like, I don't know. I can't really say, because they all different in their own way. I'll just put it like that. They all are different in their own way. This Kobra and Black are more so like late night, date night type vibes, evening type vibes. The Ice and the Verde are more so like a summer type vibe thing, where you just, you know, moving around and you just being light and vibrant in your movement. Those are that type thing. And then, you know, we got the OG, and you pretty much can do whatever you want with the OG. It's versatile like that. But this Kobra is more so, it's like an evening fragrance. It's like, it's something, it's a special occasion fragrance. And for the low. Very beautiful. Yeah, I definitely could see this being probably, as time go on, this probably being higher up on the rankings of Hawas. A lot of people are gonna favor this. Very beautiful, potent. When I wore this thing, it lasted me all day. No issues with that. It projected extremely well. In fact, it projected far more better than this one, because this, again, this is more a light, fresh, strong though. It's very strong, you know, for the profile that it's representing, or that it is. But this was, it just overpowered it. This thing was just pumping off my skin all day. I love it. I love the way that it smells. Can't really see me, you know, working in an office environment wearing this like that. Even if you dial down on the sprays, this thing is still overpowering. This thing is, it's up there. It's up there. It's really, really, And I'm talking about its potency. I'm not even mentioning how beautiful that it smells. It smells great, but it just don't give you the work type vibe. It give you more of a evening setting type vibe, you know, a date or something, or, you know, you meeting up with a young lady or your wife, or, you know, or you intending to meet somebody. Definitely would see this being a compliment getter. Well, they both will. It's just that this is out of season right now, but this one, perfect for right now. And I definitely will see this being a compliment monster. Smells great, projects well. Very strong though. Got to be careful on that trigger finger. You can't just be, you know, going in like that, because it's up there. And that's my, you know, my take on these two fragrances. I'm glad that I grabbed both of them. They are beautiful in their own way. Very strong, powerful, long-lasting fragrances, project well. Hawas did their thing with this one. And we've been seeing Hawas has been coming out with fragrances so, you know, just back to back to back to back with it. You know what I mean? You would think that somewhere they're going to miss, but apparently they not. They putting it together. So glad to have these two in my collection. Definitely going to be banging him out through this season, because this is the time for it. And I'm definitely going to be getting some more wear. Definitely got to do that. I've been kind of testing this one out because, again, I didn't really vibe with it in its initial, you know, opening or whatever. And I think that if you're interested in this, you probably want to smell this first, man, because you may not be able to get over that opening and get to that dry down. Again, like I told you, it was throwing me off for a minute. You know, I wasn't really feeling it in the beginning. So you may be one of them people that, you know, you can't get over the opening and get to the dry down. The opening might just throw you all the way off and you don't even want to wait on the dry down. Or you can't get over the opening to enjoy the dry down. But I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, the whole nine, man. You know, we trying to bring more fragrances and add some things to the channel. And, you know, and I'm just here to entertain y'all and just share with y'all my fragrance journey and me just, you know, buying fragrances because I'm a fragrance lover, and sharing with y'all my experiences with these fragrances. By no stance am I a reviewer, because I done had some people jump in my comments. You know, I'm just a guy that's just buying fragrances and enjoying and loving the fragrances, you know, and I happen to want to jump on this camera and share my experiences with y'all. But I'm gonna get up out of here. Much love for watching the channel. Your boy up out of here. Peace.